you know any shortcuts?
You want shortcuts? Well, I'll show you some shortcuts. Hold on to your seat and onto his oxygen mask.
Do you race?
Well, yes, every day. This is my rig right here.
You were incredible. If my intuition isn't failing me, you have real potential. We've got a very important race today, one that we can't afford to lose. Do you think you could do a little overtime on the racetrack?
Any racer around the world have to prove themselves at their local racetrack and move up the ranks with their own money. Rena Hayami, however, had to prove herself by driving her ambulance rig through some back alleys. The problem right here is, if only it was this easy to get a racing contract.
Once Stefan had an idea where I stood, the real training could begin. And it wasn't easy. It was like being in racing boot camp with a drill instructor breathing down your neck.
Well, you're coming out of your 911 ambulance driver job to do full-time auto racing. Of course, he's gonna rush you like a military drill instructor through your training, which most of the time it's not a good thing to rush a driver through the ranks and not let them take their time to develop their skills. Well, boys, this is probably your test to endure this video in the month of November.
Whose girlfriend are you?
I'm Rena. I'm here for the race.
Oh? Why haven't I heard of you? What team are you on?
Well, I'm not exactly sure.
I see. Well, welcome to the big leagues, Rena. I hope they don't eat you alive. At least not too quickly.
Not exactly a warm welcome. But she had a point. What team was I on?
Well, we are in Stefan's team, but he never mentioned the name of the team.
Look at the time! We need our damn racer! Where the heck is he?
Well, he is a she, and I'm right here. The name's Rena. You must be Eddie.
Are you kidding? This is our racer!
Was that supposed to be sexist or talentsist? Alright, I'm just gonna let y'all imagination flow through your mind to figure out what's going on in this scene. If you don't, and just looking at the obvious, it's mostly about Gina being concerned about GVI making bets and stuff being so corrupted. I understand that this is something that happens in motorsports, doesn't matter what series, about telling a certain driver to finish at a certain position and not go above that. But in a racing game, which appreciate a detail like this because it doesn't happen often, but still, like I give a damn and finish in second place. I mean, we're trying to make Rena Hayami a Hall of Famer. So, the hell in finishing second place with these orders that Rena is receiving. To those who never heard of this game or played this game, you have to finish second place in this race. You can't win, because you'll fail if you do. I'm starting to think that Namco predicted No Nut November, because they have no chill with this.
Rena, you work with Stefan, don't you?
Yeah, Eddie, what of it?
Yes! I knew he was still in the business!
Yeah, he's alive and well. Why do you ask?
Do you even know who he is? Stefan Garnier was a living legend until he was blamed for a controversial accident involving one of his racers. He retired, and everyone thought he was gone for good.
That accident involves the setup of the RX-7, right? Because you're saying it's controversial, but you're not explaining why it is controversial.
We really don't need a hired gun. Our team is well prepared for this race. Fine. But don't blame me when she crashes and burns.
Hello, Gina. So I'm just a hired gun.
To GVI, you're basically the higher rookie gun that they will simp over for success and money.
I can't believe this! You're not ready to drive a standard car.
By standard, you mean spec to the series or a street car? You're not really being specific here. Well, this sort of answers my question about Rena's racing team's name. Too bad it doesn't show it completely.
Okay, Rena. Let's just see how you can handle a real car.
You mean handle real competition with your McLaren F1?
I never thought I'd be doing this, but I'm leaving GVI to go independent again. Eddie's young, but he's got what it takes. If you join us, we may just be able to do it. The problem is, GVI isn't going to let us just walk away.
So, they want to leave the family. Well, I'm always willing to give upstarts a chance, so let them race for their freedom. But if they lose, they'll find out what we do with traitors.
Like what? Kill them? Cancel them? Send Rena back to being an ambulance driver and Stefan to retirement? Is it a dumb question to ask about Gina not wearing a bra? Because, I don't know, is that even allowed not to do that? Because Rena is wearing one, not just, a nip slip can happen? Somehow, in some way, shape, or form? And the fact that, fire suits cannot protect you 100% of the time depending on the fire. Our Racing Evolution is sponsored by Michelin Tires.
You haven't been in the business long and you're doing really well.
Yeah, with those two supporting me, I'll be taking first in no time.
First? Don't you mean second?
Nah, first place. And if we're right behind you in second, we'll just intimidate you to get out of the way. Gameplay is okay, except for the rallying. Not the hardest thing or the most challenging and frustrating thing, but not the greatest thing either. Though, I do like the feature where you can make an opponent nervous to the point that they will go off course or crash out, because you got them into that situation. It reminds me with what EA would eventually do with the NASCAR games in the PS2 era, starting with Chase for the Couple 5. There is variation in the vehicles, but not that much. It's very limited, but there's still something that you can enjoy driving with. Even if some information may be misleading, or certain things may be misleading or what it shows, if you know what I mean. Tracks themselves, from what I've seen, yeah, not that many to offer. Yeah, there's a few selections, but again, it's not varied if you wanna say that it should have featured more tracks around the world. Soundtrack is very unique, I'm not gonna lie. I've been vibing with a few songs that this game offers. Hey, it might be weird that you just got basically deceived that your headphones are getting broken or something, but that's the song. After all, we all get attracted to different types of art. Story-wise, it's okay. Not terrible, but okay. That's just gonna say that. Though, with Gina and Rena, don't you think it's kinda overdone in showing their breasts all the time in every cutscene when they're wearing a fire suit? I understand, they're hot, and they're hotter inside of a race car. But it's overdone. Well, not completely showing it. After all, this game's still rated T, not M, or adults only, but still, you get the point. I'm not complaining much, it's just, don't you think you're overdoing it much, a little? And also, I understand that Racing Evolution, Our Racing Evolution, is a spin-off of the Ridge Racer series, and it has some influence from Ace Combat since it is published and developed by the same company that makes those two franchises that I mentioned, Ridge Racer and Ace Combat. How can we hear the other opponents' radio communications? Like, we hear Gina say something to Rena, but don't you think we're not supposed to hear that when we're only supposed to hear our team, which is Stefan and no one else? And since we do and have radio communications, don't you think Rena would say certain things as well? You know, to add more to the realism? Talking about the car, talking about certain things, or hearing things in the radio? It's still cool to have events like the Fiat race and the be in order to finish second place, otherwise if you win you're gonna fail the mission. Like, we care, we just want to win. But it's understandable why, it's part of the story. And that concludes the best shortest hypnosis that I can give of a verdict, so if I forgot something, mention it. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.